everyone, welcome to the People Speak Out, and I'm in the host seat today as Sass can't make it, so wishing you all a very happy new Chinese year of the Wood Dragon, which came in on Saturday. So we're very much in this new energy, and so I thought I'd make that the theme for this week. And of course, my year of birth is the Wood Dragon year of 1964, so I'm 60 this year. So the Chinese cycles go in a 60-year cycle to get back to the same element, because the 5 elements are water. Water feeds wood, wood feeds fire, fire creates earth, earth creates metal, and metal creates water. So there are 5 elements, and so this is the Wood Dragon year. Now, I did want to open, actually, before I come to each of you, and if you do want to share something, please do use the symbol, the reaction symbol, to put your hand up so I know to come to you, and you'll come to the top of the screen. Makes it easier for me to manage the call. So while you're deciding whether you would like to join in today and to speak, I just wanted to read a couple of bits about the Year of the Dragon. So my go-to person is actually Raymond Lowe, who's an amazing feng shui master, Chinese master, and he does a write-up every year about the incoming energy. So I was reading his write-up about Year of the Dragon for the first time just now, and I was actually looking for some auspicious good news. It's 4 pages here, so raymondlowe.com if you want to read the whole thing. I was looking for some auspicious good news about this year, but actually there's not a lot in here. It's actually going to be quite a challenging year. So I will read you a couple of little bits of it. So he basically talks about the Year of the Dragon being symbolized, the Year of the Wood Dragon being symbolized by 2 Chinese characters, which is Yang Wood, which is, think of Yin Wood is like a blade of grass, whereas Yang Wood is like a giant tree. And Yang Wood is sitting on top of the dragon, and the dragon is essentially the earth element, and it's like the vault of water. So the water feeds the wood, but wood destroys earth. And so there's what he's basically saying is that the interrelationship between those 2 elements are in a destructive cycle, and have a conquering relationship. So Yang Wood conquers earth, so wood destroys earth basically. And so it creates a year which will have more conflict and less harmony. And so he says the 2024 Yang Wood element represents a tree which has the character of being stubborn and sticking to principle. Yang Wood also represents the head and the leader. A Yang Wood person is often described as headstrong and stubborn and not easy to compromise. With such tough character, people have a tendency to stand up and fight for their principle and refuse to compromise, hence creating more chance for confrontation and making any negotiation more difficult. Furthermore, in the 5 element system, wood is related to the liver organ and angry mood. Hence, there is a strong tendency to fight. The Israel-Palestine war broke out in October 2023, is reflecting such stubborn character and anger. And he mentions October because the dragon and the dog are in clash, and October is the month of the dog, just to explain that. But he says, fortunately, the Yang Wood over Dragon configuration is not purely conquering. The dragon is considered as storage of water, and such water element hidden in the dragon can still support wood and can reverse the destructive relationship into a supportive relationship. Hence, there are still some strong chances for negotiation and making concessions to resolve conflicts after a hard fight. And so he's basically saying there's still a chance of making peace at the end of the day. I'm just going to skip to the end because he says an interesting thing here about, he says the year 2024 could be a significant year, as there is an ancient prophecy predicting there will be big changes in China when the black rabbit enters green dragon's den. This is written in the mystery prophecy book of the Tang dynasty, Pushing Back Pictures. And because he explains, because 2023 was the water rabbit year, and water is black and blue are the colors of the water. Because 2023 is the black rabbit year, and 2024 is the wood dragon year, which is the green dragon. So this prediction of black rabbit entering the green dragon's den is symbolic of 2023 and 2024. So he says some significant event will happen in China between 2023 and 2024. Also, ancient Chinese scholars believe in the saying of red goat disaster, the years of the fire horse and the fire goat bringing disaster and turbulence. And those 2 years coming up are the fire horse and fire goat years of 2026 and 2027. And he said back in the year 1126, which was a year of the red horse, the Sung dynasty was invaded by Jin, and the Sung emperors were captured and held hostage by barbarians. Also, 1966, the year of the red horse, the fire horse, was the beginning of the Cultural Revolution. He also says in Feng Shui, 2023 is the last year of the Age of 8. And from 2024, from February the 4th, which is the new solar Chinese New Year, the world will enter a new 20-year period called the Age of 9. And this is a big energy shift, bringing considerable change in prosperous locations and social, economic, and cultural tendencies. And Richard Ashworth was discussing this on the Year of the Dragon workshop back in December, and basically saying it's a time of the feminine, a big feminine energy coming in, because the 8 sits in the northeast and it's like the youngest son, whereas the 9 is the middle daughter in the south. So it's the energy shifting from patriarchal to matriarchal, basically from the masculine to the feminine. So it's a year when women can rise, the feminine energy, and I mean that in the truest sense, the feminine energy, because we have a lot of quite masculine politicians, female politicians, who are working from their masculine energy. But this is an opportunity for the feminine energy to come through to bring balance and harmony back into what has become a very heartless and soulless patriarchal system. So that's my little overview. You can read that, raymondlowe.com, and if you want to read the whole of his little essay about the Year of the Dragon. So because this is the new year, the new moon, the new lunar year, the new Chinese year, and it's Year of the Dragon, and it is very auspicious, and it is a year of big magic, because the dragon is the only creature in the 12 animals that is a metaphysical, magical, mystical, higher dimensional creature. It's a year when magic can happen. And so it's very powerful if you would wish to use the energy of this group and all of the audience who will watch the recording to speak an intention for this year into the group. If you want to set an intention and speak it into the group, when you speak an intention into an audience, it gives it tremendous extra added power. So it's especially a group of supportive people, which we are a very supportive Sangha here. So if you have got an intention for this year, anything you want to manifest, if you want to create some magic, please do use the energy of the People Speak Out group and our viewing community. And quite a few thousand people watch these videos. So please use the energy of the group to energize your intention. So with that, I am going to come to Brian. Hold on, let me just turn on original sound. Brian's got his hand up. So anyone else who wants to speak, please put your yellow hand up and come on the call. So Brian, let me switch to speaker view and let's come to you. How are you doing, Brian? How's your health?
Rachel.
Hi, how's your health?
Really nice to see you. I haven't seen you for a little while, really, on this show.
Yeah.
Rachel Speaks Out.
The people speak out.
Well, it has grown. It has turned into a movement, if you ask me. I know it's the movement is, as you say, a bit of a dragon. Yes, you're a very clever girl, understanding all that stuff.
Well, I was just
I,
reading from a grandmaster, so it's not so much me, but I'm reading from a
well,
wise Chinaman.
oh, wisdom, wisdom, wisdom. You are amazing. You are very wise, and love you to bits. It's an absolutely lovely day. The sun is shining, and getting in that vitamin D is just amazing. The colours, the sun, the magic, the water is magic, Rachel. Yes, the sword is in the stone. Yes. Creating intentions, Rachel.
Yes.
I mean, I've been a bit procrastinating here at the moment. I seem to have been under attack. Oh dear. This don't seem to be charging. Sorry, let me push on. I hope that is charging. Yes. So yes, I need to get out of comfort zone and to move on and do something else, because my whole well-being is suffering. My meditations, smart meters, affinity water, all this stuff is putting my energy right down. So I need to get out of comfort zone and take on a new challenge. I've been reading up about pyramids and the sacred numbers and the Tesla. And for your meditation, you can actually create a pyramid. Well, it's a bit like your teepee, isn't it? I mean, how's that going? Because I've done rehab before. It's for me, it's spiritual. People with intellect don't seem to understand spirituality. We're all spiritual, aren't we? We're all the rose, aren't we? Yes, you understand. Yes, I'm looking to get out of comfort zone. I thought I might be able to help you in some way, isn't it? I do the multi-faith, I do the rehabilitation, isn't it? And I need to get back into doing a 28-day program and to follow through and to complete. Get into the sound healing and all the other healings that are about. The pyramids at the moment are interesting me because I'm a bit of a, I used to be back in the day an air conditioning duct erector. I used to make all the air ducts and fit them to supply all the buildings with air conditioning. Back in the day, the air, yes, we used to love the air. That's another thing I wanted to say. I do chat, don't I? Yes, I was born 62 in May 62. So my birthday.
You're a water tiger then?
Yes, and
born in the snake month.
I don't really do that type. Yes, I don't study. I've read the I Ching and I've done quite a lot, but at the end of the day, I'm eternal, isn't it? And you give me strength, Rachel. Yes, I was just wanted to say that age thing because we're in the same. We were brought up at the same sort of time. We're in that generation.
Yeah.
You're in my generation. It's our time. So yes, there has been yes, so I have set intentions to come and do some multi-faith and some rehabilitation, but I feel that maybe I need to get a job to be a small cog for a little while, isn't it? To be together, to create something, a team And I'm sure I could fit in somewhere because one needs cash flow, doesn't one?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, I mean, at the moment, I'm a sovereign being, but yes, I'm not registered to vote. And
Yes.
half of me wants to just drop out completely,
Yeah.
but the other, because I dropped back in to the system and all hell broke loose. Yes, because I wanted, so it's all coming good, really, because yeah, I have got a little bit of transport now. Yeah, I've saved up a little bit of rent, and I just need to drop out of comfort zone and to push forward. But yes, I sort of hit a little bit of a yes, then Woking's been treating me really bad. Oh, you know a bit of it, isn't it? I came in to have a hernia operation, and yes, I was a bit underweight anyway, but I was banging into my meditation and just, yes, the Saddam guru I was into then, but it turns out.
So Brian, sorry, I'm gonna interrupt and just move you along a little bit to set an intention for this year, because we've got lots of hands up, and if you don't mind.
All right. Yes, I think I've said enough, Rachel. Do you?
What's your intention for?
Yes, just to my intention is to push forward with my plan, with my intention.
Yeah.
Because I've had intentions. I don't need to set new intentions. I just need to complete the intentions I've already set that will stop me procrastinating and will get me back into the saddle again.
Yeah.
Because we've had, yes, a lot of us have had a lot of trauma. Well, it's been immense trauma. You're amazing. And hopefully Helping Hands is open and I can help you in some way. With the love party and the voting and the mayors and stuff, doing some amazing stuff for the people. I will let you speak with somebody else, Rachel.
Thanks,
Maybe
Brian.
we'll speak again if there's more time.
Yeah.
But yes, our time, Rachel, it's just spinning right. Everything's just moves really fast.
Yeah. Okay, Brian, well, good to hear from you. Thanks for coming on and thanks for opening the call today. I'm going to mute you back there. And yeah, setting an intention for your health and well-being, Brian, because I know when we met, you weren't that well. And so really visioning you healed and whole and radiant full health and wealth as well. So just to say that. And I'm also mentioning as well that in the chat, that lots of intentions are coming through here. So it's, even if you just put it in the chat, that's really wonderful to read some of your intentions. I might come back to those later in the call, but for now, let's go to Philly J. Lay. Hold on, I'm just going to lower Brian's hand and then come to Philly J. Lay. Hi, Philly.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Rachel.
Hi.
It's lovely to be back on a call. I'm sorry I haven't done as many in the last 18 months, but as you know, Rachel, I started my podcast and it's been all time consuming, along with writing another book. And that was interesting what Brian said about leaving the system. And I was, you know, this is a year, as you said, you know, the year of the dragon where magic can happen. And I've kind of, I don't know if I've really messed myself up here, but I kind of pulled out the system and I now have bailiffs turning up the whole time. But I kind of figured that every penny that I managed to raise, I will put into my work and the podcast and the book and getting the word out. So I don't quite know how to sort out the pickle that I'm in. I think I'm also about to lose my driving license for speeding fines that, like 22 miles an hour in a new 20 mile an hour limit that I didn't even notice. But I haven't opened any post for a year, and I've got into a little bit of a pickle. So now is the time that I really do need to set some intentions for this year. And I'm really torn between two intentions at the moment. One is that people will hear the truth, which is what I've been trying to put out ever since 2020. And I don't know if anybody remembers, but in 2020, I quickly wrote and published a book, The Natural Wellness Journal, to teach people all the wonderful things that they can do to heal themselves. And Brian, if you give me your email address, I'll email you an ebook of it, because there's so much, and journaling is a great way to actually start your process of your healing journey and intentions. But I don't seem to have time to do anything but work at the moment. It's been 17 hours a day, 7 days a week for the last 3 years, really. So my intentions are that people can hear the truth, that people will hear the truth. And, I put a podcast up on Wednesday with Dr. Ahmed Malik. I presume you all know Doc Malik. Yep.
Chris is saying, "Oh my God, Philly J lay in the house. You were fab on Doc Malik podcast." That's in the chat.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, I've just had Doc Malik on my podcast, and my goodness, he hit some truth bombs one after another. He just hit them. And, I've only just come off a YouTube ban for a year, and we're just like, oh my God, do we put this out or do we not put this out? But you have to. So we're just putting kind of 15-minute snips up on YouTube Shorts, because we can't put the whole podcast up there. I've got Barbara O'Neill coming up on the podcast later on in the year, too, with Barbara, one with her husband, talking about how they were kicked out of Australia for Barbara teaching people how to heal. I'm bringing Barbara to the UK in June to do a talk, and also to bring together people, and I hope you can come, Rachel. You will get an invite. I'm working on everything at the moment. It's just chaotic because there's too much to do, but we're trying to bring people together who have spoken out and unify us all to, not a movement, I don't like that word, but just bring together as many people that have got as many groups as possible to see how we can work together as one unity in this year. Because, as you said, it's the year the magic can happen, and there are so many groups and so many people doing wonderful, wonderful work. But I consider myself a coordinator to try and bring those people together so that we can increase our energy. And I think that is a really important thing that will happen this year. And then Barbara will do a public talk, but we're trying to find a theatre at the moment that won't cancel her. So if anybody has ideas of theatres that won't pull out when they find out who's speaking, I'd be grateful. And the other thing that I could, that I am thinking about manifesting at the moment, is to support and clear blockages and calcification. And I feel kind of stuck. I haven't earned any money apart from doing kind of bits of Airbnb, which I'm no longer allowed to do, to try and finance my work. So it's all a little bit up in the air how I can keep going. So if anybody's got any wonderful ideas what I could manifest, and I'm a shit hot manifester, I say it on virtually every podcast. I've had some of the best names in the business, Zach Bush, Bruce Lipton, they're all coming on. Rachel's coming on soon. But I feel I need support to continue getting it out. I'm tired and I'm not quite sure how to keep going.
Yeah, thank you for sharing.
Just tap on that, because that's bringing up an awful lot for me.
Well, it's very bold and brave to share that vulnerability of being in that place of you know, doing all of this work but not feeling that you're valued and that money's not flowing. Yeah. So it is beautiful, just to say, Philly, it is very wonderful to witness your halo behind you. And I've just noticed actually that there's a little like Archangel Michael blue thing just appeared here. Can you see? I've just noticed it.
Can.
Yeah. So there's something, little like signs here of and I always think of the Ace of Swords when I think of Archangel Michael.
I'm just going to take a photo of that. Is that okay, Rachel?
Yeah, of course. And it'll probably be on the recording, a screenshot, but
oh gosh, you've got one over you. Have you just seen yours?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I can see on mine, not on you. You've
Oh,
got
I've
a
got one on
halo.
mine as well.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
You've got a halo behind you, I was noticing, but then I was noticing in my screen, I can see a sort of blue thing. Now, of course, Archangel Michael, his sword, the sword of truth, but it has the ability to cut through the illusions. So maybe there's a sign here to invoke Archangel Michael to give you protection and to cut through whatever challenges you might be having. I mean, just for what it's worth, I will just say about the whole of the kind of bailiff thing, and because I'm going through something at the moment with the Civil National Business Centre, which used to be called the Northampton Small Claims Court. So it's interesting that they've renamed it the Civil National Business Centre. And as far as I can make out, and I've had conversations with Kelly Slade about this, who's the UK column lawyer and very much a kind of human rights activist lawyer, and knows a lot about common law, that this National Business Centre is like, it's an industrial scale corporate mugging facility, not even a court, not even a proper court. And so what is happening is that bit by bit, they are making the system, they're creating a system whereby the big corporates can systematically mug the people through this huge industry now of this court with its CCJs, and then you've got the debt collectors arriving. Don't call them bailiffs, they're just thugs from big corporations, and it's a massive industry. And a lot of solicitors are getting very rich, a lot of debt collection agencies are getting very rich, and the court is also milking it for all it's worth in the court fees that it's systematically being paid to mug the people. And this, when they say you will own nothing and be happy, this is how they're going to do it. And Lynn was saying the other day, Lynn Irving, on one of our love movement, so I know you don't like that word, but one of our love movement discussions, she was saying that so many people that she knew had you know, bailiffs come and take their stuff and take their cars, and like people like Richard Vobes has had it done, and this is how they're going to do it. And all of these cameras, I mean, if you've dealt with Civil National Business Centre, there's a massive backlog. They've got like weeks and weeks of backlog, and the reason is that these cameras and these computers and all this automatic number plate registration, they're just spitting out fines relentlessly. And they got so much, and I think that also there's a lot of people questioning and resisting, and not just paying up, you know. And so it doesn't take much to throw a spanner in the works. So like mass non-compliance. Because imagine if all these millions of fines that are being spewed out, I was speaking to someone the other day who had a whole clutch of them. If we all just stood up and said, no, this is corporate mugging on an industrial scale, and we own the roads, we don't, provided we're causing no harm, injury or loss, we own the roads, the people own the roads, we have the right to use those roads provided we're not causing any harm, injury or loss to anyone by going 22 miles an hour. I'm assuming you're a responsible, safe driver, that you were taking into account in your going 22 miles the road conditions. There probably weren't any children about or dogs. It was
Late at night.
Late at night, exactly. So I would say under common law, we have an absolute basis to push back on this. And the reason I'm devoting a bit of time to this, it's very important, because if everyone stood up and said, no, these are public roads, these are public highways. I own this road. No one has the right to dictate to me or to say, oh, it's a bus lane now. You know, oh, you've got to have a fine. So if enough people push back, and I think probably they are, especially with ULEZ, think of the millions of ULEZ. I mean, I read someone did a Freedom of Information request that ULEZ has raised last year £225 million in fines and charges. So it's these big corporations draining the money from the people, £225 million from the pockets of the people to drive on roads that they own. It's absolutely outrageous. So I just wanted to, and people are putting notes in the chat, I just wanted to make this point that you're not alone. And I think if enough of us stood up, I stand up against everything now, everything. I argue, I won't say argue, I stand in my common law rights, my sovereignty. Under common law, I require a trial by jury. You know, I'm innocent until proven guilty. I own these roads. I haven't consented to the authority of anyone. And I require a trial by jury, please. Not even please, I require. It's not like it's my right to require a trial by jury. If anyone accuses us of anything, let's take it to the people and let the people decide, are we guilty? And is it really legitimate for them to fine us for using roads which we own?
Absolutely, this is brilliant. I mean, I've stopped paying bills 3 years ago. The only few bills that I pay is I pay car insurance, because if I had an accident, then obviously, you know, somebody might need a lot of money. You know, accidents do happen. I pay my road tax, and the reason I pay that is because I do use the roads. So I feel that I should contribute to the upkeep of them. But that is what I pay. I pay my water bill just because I do need some water coming into my property. But I own my electricity. I'm virtually off grid. I have to use oil to heat my house, which I pay for. I put solar panels in and batteries before I realized how bad they were for the environment, because a few years ago, I still bought into the green agenda, which I'm so embarrassed to say now I'm going red, but I did, you know. And I do think there's still a problem with, you know, waste. You know, we're killing the planet with plastic and
toxic. Yeah, that I agree with that.
And glyphosate and all the rest of it, you know. But that's not us. That's the corporations. So, you know, there are some things that I do pay for that I feel I should, but everything else I've just kept out the system. And yeah, they're battling down on me. A friend of mine said to me that I should go to Citizens Advice Bureau, because there's about £20,000 worth of fines, which I don't have in at the moment. They said I should go to Citizens Advice Bureau and cut a deal with all the bailiffs. What do you think on that, Rachel?
Well, I'm not sure. Look at the notes in the chat after you've come off, because people are giving you some suggestions here, and also Connor has said let's support Philly and given the link to your shop. So if anyone wants to support Philly, please go and buy something. Maybe buy her book or whatever is in your shop. I don't quite know what's in your shop.
Shop Philly I've got 2 books. I've got my journal, and then I've released a new book last week, but I'm still trying to design the click funnel, and I've got a meeting on it today. But what I've done for the second book, which I think is the better book, but it is an interactive ebook, and I have taken my healing journey, how I healed. So I've taken a lot of the information from the Natural Wellness Journal, but I interviewed people on my podcast. So I put interactive links all the way through to the guests on the podcast.
Okay.
So if I'm talking about cleaning your water, I put up the interview with Dr. Bradley Campbell. You know, if I'm talking about DNA, I put up my interview with Dr. Bruce Lipton, so you can learn from the experts.
Yeah.
And I've got my meditation album in there. So I wrote and recorded an album in 2021 called The Wellness Awakening, From Past Lives to Passing, where I'll take you on a journey from your past lives. And I've got podcasts up and in the book on past lives, and the fact that people feel that we can take on our ancestral DNA, and yet they don't believe that we can take on our ancestral trauma, which is ridiculous because everything is connected.
Yeah.
So I take you on that, and I'll take you on this meditation journey to the last day of your life, and we'll just stand on a cliff together and look back and remember our lives and what we achieved before we're ready to go out to the universe.
Okay, Philly, that sounds great. Well, everyone go over to Philly's shop, and I'm going to move on to Karine now, if that's okay, because we've got quite a few people with hands up.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you. Thanks for coming on. And let's come to Karine next.
Hello.
Hi, Karine. How are you doing?
Hello. Thank you for all your words there, and also Philly, and how amazing. And I just wanted to say how nice to see Roger. I was going to ask about him. So nice to see you out of hospital. Yeah, so I'm just really, my intention, I thought I'll speak it out. And actually, the other day I was listening to Rising Phoenix Aurora, and she did a video on the dragon and how we all have a dragon. And this is really the time to birth our dragon or link in with it. And I thought, oh, well, maybe this is something to do. So that's kind of quite dragon related. I feel a bit silly, but anyway, there we go. I'm dragons are us. So my intention really is I'm holding to the light. Whatever the grief, the trauma, all the crap, the dreadful things, I have to, for myself, keep aligning to the light. I'm working, my intention is to work on purifying, which is liver, of course, and strengthening myself, and keep on singing and just being the best I can, and be the, in that small way on the planet, just do what I can do. So anyway, I when I was doing yellow boards, I used to sing, create songs, sing all the time as protection, mantras and protection. And Dad get downloads of songs, and I'd record them on my funny little recorder. And the other day I came across them, and I'd completely forgotten this one, but I'm going to sing it now because
sing us a song. That's nice.
It's quite fun. And actually, I'll sit down, but normally I have to dance because it's a bit like that. So, okay. We are rising up. We are lifting up. We're standing up to a place full of love. We are lifting up. We are rising up. We're standing up to a place full of love. We are full of love. Love, love, love. We are full of love. We are lifting up. And so forth, and
yeah,
so
that's
on.
going to have to be our theme song for the love movement. I think you needed your original sound for musicians on there, because a few of your notes didn't come through, but that was great, Karine.
Yeah, well,
thank you.
And it was a little bit high, but anyway.
That's great, fantastic, love it.
So that's what I'm doing, and singing in the garden, singing to my plants, singing all the time, laughing more than ever.
Yes.
I on one level, it's crazy because there's so much grief, but actually I feel I'm doing the best I can. I feel aligned with that, and I sing, and Nick and I, we laugh so much. There's Nick. We sing and laugh all the time. So
brilliant.
That's it. Love to you. Thanks everyone for everything that all of us collectively are doing.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for coming on, Karine. Just mute you back. Oh, I've just done it. So, and then we're coming to Hope next, and then we'll come to Nikota and Roger, and that might well take us to up to 1 o'clock. So here's Hope.
Hi, thank you for a friend of mine only sent me the message about your thing about 11 o'clock. I wanted to just align with Philly. I'm in a similar situation. I was in marketing, earned a load of money, and the American government shut them down after I'd moved into a house with very high rent, which I haven't been able to pay. I've just received an eviction notice. I have less than 2 weeks to get out, and I've been living on benefits. So this is one of the biggest challenges of my life, because I also have a child and a chicken,
Wow.
a dog and a cat, and so my intention is to secure a positive home for my family. Now there was just to, because people have been saying, and I don't know if this might have helped to Philly, there was a bailiff's notice as well to pay over £12,000, which I don't have either. But I do have some amazing contacts, and I have been given all the details to send a completely legal promissory note, which I sent out special delivery on Saturday morning. And they cannot refuse it because of all of the stuff that I've included with it. And I'm more than happy to give the details to anybody else here who needs that sort of thing.
Explain what that is, so we know.
So,
What is a
yes, sure.
promissory note?
So many of you may know, that the fiat currency was taken off of the gold standard back in the 30s. And so even, our pounds are promissory notes. They are a promise to pay, backed by absolutely nothing, backed by the government saying that it has that value, which, as we know, is being decreased constantly because of inflation and all the rest of it. So that value is based on us, the people, on our work, on what we bring to the country. And so we can create that value ourselves, and we can create something called a promissory note, which says, and you can use this for mortgages as well, which basically says, right, okay, I accept that I owe you this amount of money. Okay, none of us want to accept that, but it's a way around it for the minute. And so I'm telling you, it's basically sort of like a check. You print it off on and I can share the details, I say. And basically what it is if you come to my door on this date of the month, I will give you a £5 until it's all paid off, and I'll give you 5% interest on it, no problem. But you have to come to the door on this date of the month to get it. And if you miss a month, you don't get double pay, you skip it. It's as simple as that. And so what you do is you make it a nominal amount. So this bill was over £12,000. So I've said, yeah, okay, come to the house and I'll give you a £5 in cash. They won't. It costs, a couple of £100 to send a bailiff to come and get that money. And they have to come with the original certificate. What they'll actually do is they'll sell the original certificate. And on my certificate, it says, that's fine, you can sell it, not a problem. But if you sell it, I don't owe you the money.
Oh.
What you find is that banking institutions, obviously Rothschilds, they have this deal where they can loan out 10 times the amount of money that they have on their books. But what they have on their books is promissory notes. It's based on nothing. And that's why the banks are beginning to topple.
Okay.
So I've just paid it with that. That's all I have.
That's interesting. That's interesting. You've done. Has that been successful in keeping the bailiffs away from the door or not?
That should be successful in keeping them away from the door for the money point of view. With regards to the eviction, I've actually been fighting my landlord for over a year on this, which says quite a lot because I had to do it all myself. So I've managed to extend it quite significantly. Unfortunately, no, I have to be out a week on Sunday regardless. I can't fight that at the moment. I can fight it in court afterwards, but I'll have lost the house by then.
Do you have you considered doing house sitting? Because I know someone who ended up doing house sitting, and there's lots of people who want someone to go and live in their house while they're away overseas for 6 months or on an assignment, expats. And you can, and they will give you their house for free in return for you house sitting. Have you potentially thought of that as a suggestion?
A friend of mine has mentioned it to me. I think that the part of my reticence to, and I have looked, my reticence is I have an 8-year-old, a dog and a cat. And
Okay.
and a friend of mine is just taking my chickens, and a friend of mine this morning took all my plants, and I've got a
Oh.
6-bed house full of stuff, and I
Oh,
have to
okay.
pay to store that. So
Right.
do you
Well,
see what I mean?
I don't know as well in terms of what your rights are to if you didn't move out when the time comes, what they could do.
No, they
Do
could
they have
chuck
to go
me out,
through
and
a
they could.
big? Do they have to go through a big court process?
No, they've already been through the court process. They could chuck me out and they could take all my things, and I don't want that, and it would not help my son in any way
Okay.
whatsoever.
Yeah. Okay.
So I do have a meeting with the council, although I've not paid council tax the entire time I'm here, Philly, don't worry. And I've not paid the water bill either, or the gas or the electric. And hopefully she thinks she can find us somewhere, but that's going to be somewhat bijou compared to what we've become used to, obviously. So yeah, it's daunting, challenging times, but I need to get somewhere so that my son isn't so unstable, and that he can be, because I home ed, and he can feel happier and more secure with where we are and moving forward. I mean, that business that I was working with still owe me a lot of money. I still believe that they will pay. I just don't know when. I've started other working from home businesses which are slowly bringing some money in, but it's all a slow process when you're starting from scratch.
Well, my heart really goes out to you, Hope, and really visioning you in manifesting the most amazing, safe, secure, affordable home where you can not be in nervous system activation. So I can tell, like, this is what it causes. All of this, it puts us on constant predator alert, and it's so important.
Absolutely. I've
for the
spent the
nervous
last 2
system.
years stressed. I'm sure Philly's in a very similar
Yeah.
situation. You're just stressed about it all the time.
So just
And that's
visioning,
not positive.
Let's just focus on this intention. So visioning you now. Let's all of us, everyone on this call, everyone who's watching the recording, just visioning you. I'm so interested to see your background there, which is obviously it's a screenshot kind of background, isn't it? So
Yes.
In some ways you've actually manifested it in that background, this blank canvas, this beautiful white blank canvas. So see the future of your life like a magnificent white blank canvas on which you can paint and create anything that is your heart's desire. So I would, if I were you, this is a bit of a coaching suggestion here, do a meditation, a visualization, this beautiful white canvas. And you might even want to create it in real life, to actually get a white canvas or a whiteboard and draw on it, paint on it, or create a montage of the most beautiful home of in your wildest dreams, and focus and pour all of your energy on visioning yourself in the most incredible new home where you're safe and secure and held, and you can relax and heal, and pour your intention and ask for the dragon magic to deliver it to you. And just joining in with everyone, envisioning that for you right now. So mote it be. Yeah.
Thank you so
sending
much.
you lots
Thank
of
you.
love, and yes, keeping that hope as the hope in your name. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So keep us posted on what happens next. Thanks, Hope, for coming on and sharing. And before I come to Nikota, I mean, this is one of the reasons why I want to go into politics, not because I particularly want to go to Westminster, but I just feel that the whole of this shit show system is absolutely broken. And as a mother, as a mother of 5 sons, why don't we run things on this planet like a mother would? Everyone has a nice, safe, cozy, warm bed to sleep in. everyone's safe, everyone's secure, everyone's well fed, everyone has fresh, healthy water, nutritious food, is loved, is safe, and is encouraged to thrive. That's what we want. We don't need all this bullshit of being fined and beaten over the head and having bailiffs turning up. I mean, if I was in charge of the world, if I ruled the world, gone, it's gone, that's gone, no more. The current, and we're listening to Barefoot Doctor. In this future vision, the currency is love and the economy is booming. What if we ran everything with love and heart and soul? Well, it wouldn't even cross our minds to turn up at someone's door and try and nick their stuff. If someone was struggling, you'd try and help them. How can I help you? You know, if you can't pay your electricity bill or whatever it is, rather than cut you off or boot you out, you know, let's help one another to be able to thrive. Surely it must be possible on this planet, for God's sake. You know, sorry, I'm going to rant on here. Let's come to Nikota. Nikota? Hi, if I pronounced your name right.
Yes, you have. Oh, bless.
Hiya.
I'm not laughing at you, and that's the God's honest truth. I'm just amazed at the universe. I am. Yeah, my intention, and hi to everybody, and I really hope that everyone, you know, gets their desired wishes, and especially for Hope, and I think it was Phyllis, I believe her name was.
Philly, yeah.
Phyllis, yes. It all corrections come in and solutions. And harmonisation for them both. I really truly wish that. Yeah, my intentions is, for me personally, it's the golden dragon. It is, because I'm very strongly linked there. But my mission and my purpose is to unfold more. For me, that is my intention that I'm working with, and that is to assist, not just me, but as others, assist humanity. It is, because at the moment, I mean, the fear that's out there is, you know, quite large. It is, but it's about teaching, and I'm going to use the word teaching within, because you're your own teacher, you are. And the words that have been all sort of like so misinformation, misguidance and all that, it's about bringing that inner balance, that inner love, allowing and healing, self-healing within. It is. Because what I'm sort of aware of is, I mean, the suffering. In one sense, you're damned if you do this, you're damned if you do that. You know, and for me personally, what I'm witnessing is people are being so distracted that they are absolutely not putting themselves first and healing deeply within. And this is, for me, what I'm aware of is coming out to play. It is. I personally feel, and my visions of what I've actually been seeing, is there is a correction solutions that are coming in that are going to be quite amazing for so many people, so many. And I do feel that whatever's going on out there, the most important thing within is self-love, self-kindness. It is, but most of all, breathing, learning to breathe. It is. So I really do wish for each and individual one on here that the next year it really brings you all your desires, all your wishes, good health and wellness on every aspect of abundance. And I don't mean money, I mean love.
Thank you. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, Nikota, thank you for coming on with that strong vision. That's beautiful. Let's come to Roger now. It's 6 minutes to 1, so you may well have the final word, Roger, as no one else has got their hand up. So we've got Brian opening the show and you closing the show, maybe, potentially.
Okay. Well, first I want to thank Karine for her good wishes. They're going to fit a pacemaker at some point soon, so that'll stop me falling down. Anyway, the important thing right now is I'm standing as Mayor for North Yorkshire region, and I'm also standing as MP for York Central. So I need some funds. I've got to find £1,000 for deposits and £725 for inclusion in their leaflet. So if anybody can help me, I'll be very much obliged. I tried to put a message on chat, but I think I got it all messed up. So I'm just telling everybody, anybody who would like to help me with my campaign, please would email me so that I can give them the instructions of what to do. And my email is, and this is without a D in my name, Roger Manners, as in good manners, at yahoo.com. Okay. So if you can write that down, and then I can explain to you how to get money to me. I can't use the bank account because the enemy might get hold of it. It could get closed down. So that's really all I have to say at the moment. And thank you for everybody's comments today. There's been some useful advice. Thank you. And
Thank you, Roger.
okay, so that's it.
Thank you, Roger. So just to say on that, because we have been discussing this on the Love movement group, because there's lots of us standing. And so just to say a few things. Now, people are suggesting do a GoFundMe. Now, a lot of these platforms do not accept, first to say, they don't accept political campaigns. And also, I think, wasn't GoFundMe the one that did the truckers and then they pulled it? I don't trust those platforms personally. And what we are suggesting,
I don't.
yeah, what I was suggesting, and having looked into the issue of donations and electoral donations, basically the rules are you can gift someone or donate and gift up to £50, and it doesn't count as a donation. So anything up to £50, anyone can give Roger £50, doesn't matter who you are. Anything over £50, you have to be a qualifying donor, and you have to be, I think, on the electoral register, and that your name and address has to be disclosed, I believe, according to the rules. And they make it as complicated as they possibly can. And for independent candidates, we don't have the benefit of having a party that can fund everything, because it's not just the £500 deposit to stand, it's also finding the money for the marketing campaigns. And in the case of the mayor, for Julie, they did a collective campaign for all the mayor candidates, and she had to pay £725. So it might be that in Yorkshire. But as an MP, you get a mail shot to everyone in the constituency. So for me, it's 68,000 people, but you have to pay for the leaflets. The delivery is free, but you have to provide 68,000 leaflets. You know, so that's even if it's a flimsy leaflet, it's still a chunk of money. So there is, there is a cost to it, and they deliberately make it that way. And that's what Marianne Williamson is talking about a lot in her campaign. It costs a huge amount of money in America. So they've deliberately made politics out of the reach of the common person, and it's completely wrong. So just to say that. But we are where we are. So if anyone would like to support Roger, what I would suggest is put a note, like £5 note, £10 note, £20 note, £50 note, or a few notes in an envelope and send them to him. And if you send him an email, he'll give you his address, and just send some cash. That's what I would suggest. It's the easiest way, but bear in mind that if you do send more than £50, you do have to be a qualifying donor. And I suspect we are all going to get tempted by Satan of chunks of money arriving, because if you can't accept them, you have to give them over to the Electoral Commission, and they go to the government. Can you believe that? So you can't just keep them, you have to hand them over. So I suspect we will all be tested by money arriving in brown paper envelopes, which we can't accept and have to hand over. Anyway, Roger will give you all the details, because I know, Roger, you're asking for a contacts from everyone so that you can acknowledge and thank everyone, obviously. So it's great if people can give their name and address, but obviously if you want to be anonymous, up to £50 is okay too. Anyway, so thanks for coming on, Roger, and lots of calls for help and assistance in today's call. And so if you do have any, if you are in flow of abundance and you can help any of the people who've come on today's call asking for help, whether it's Roger's donations or Philly and her shop, or helping Hope in any way you can, whether it's through money or resources or information or knowledge, you know, that's what we're here as a community to do, to support one another. So thanking you all, and visioning you, Roger, I'm visioning you elected as the mayor. I'm visioning you as the MP for York Central. I'm visioning you in the Houses of Parliament. I'm visioning your heart healed fully. I personally, I would vision you not to have a pacemaker personally, that you have a heart healing, so that you are, maybe there's something you can do with Helen. Her business is Heart Healer, hearthealer.co.uk, I think her website is. You may want to just check out Helen Miller, because, you know, we can heal our hearts. We can heal our hearts. So if you have a problem with your heart, I would really urge you, Roger, to use every available healing remedy before you avail yourself to a gadget. But that's just my humble personal opinion. So anyway, sending you so much love, and thank you all for being on the call. I'm just going to come to the gallery view now, and thank you to everyone for coming on. So give us a wave so we can do it. Have a nice sort of screenshot for the thumbnail of the video. Sending you lots of love and a very happy and magical Chinese New Year of the Dragon. And yeah, let's use some of this magical dragon energy to completely transform the way that we live on this planet, so that we are all in flow of abundance and no one has to live in fear or in lack or in any kind of scarcity. That is my vision for us collectively. So sending you lots of love. And 2 weeks time, I think it probably will be Sass, because she couldn't do this week. We'll have to check in with Sass and Helen to see who's the next host. But until then, I'm wishing you a very wonderful St. Valentine's Day celebration on Wednesday, as well as a beautiful Pancake Day. It's Shrove Tuesday tomorrow, and we're coming up to Easter. So lots of love, and bye for now. See you soon.